Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View with myself, Baz, where every single Celtic fan on the channel gets a chance to get their view across. And that's why it's called the One Celtic Fans View. There's a lot to talk about this morning. There's breaking news this morning, as you can see along the ticker here, that Atalanta, yes, that old foe that were in for Matt O'Reilly for a couple of windows, and now have identified Arne Engels. They've identified Arne Engels as a player that they want this summer. Celtic will not allow Arne Engels to be sold this window. I could pretty much guarantee that Brendan Rodgers will not want Arne Engels sold this window, especially with Rio Hatate potentially leaving the building, and maybe a few others. To say the least. But it is an interesting story that is coming out in the media in Italy. Arne Engels, who left FC Augsburg for Celtic last August, has had an interesting season. He is only young, and he's still got a lot of potential as a player. Celtic know that. The player himself knows that, and the player himself has said, "Look, I think he thinks he's doing fantastic." And even Callum McGregor has said at one point during the season that he says this guy has got a real talent and he will only get better. The 21-year-old is in the plans for next season of their manager. It's an interesting one. Engels is currently contracted to Celtic until 2028, so it would take a big transfer fee to take him away from Celtic. I'm going to sneeze. No, is it coming? No, it's gone. Do you think that Celtic would sell the Belgian player? No, I don't think so. I don't think that he will be sold. He will be one that will be sold by Celtic in this window. But there is another article that's out there this morning. Brendan Rodgers and Celtic. Brendan Rodgers and Celtic travel to Cork City this summer, and Brendan Rodgers is keen to build a pathway for Irish players. It's been said that Brendan Rodgers says that Celtic are hoping to enhance the pathway for young Irish players. The boys' first team squad currently feature two Irish Republic internationalists in Adam Idah and Liam Scales, plus rising star Johnny Kenny. I say right now, I've said it after seeing him at the weekend in the flesh, that Johnny Kenny will be the better player. He will be better than Adam Idah. He's younger, he'll be better than Adam Idah. You've also got young Francis Turley, who's coming through the system, and Celtic highly rate that young lad. The friendly with Cork is a chance for Celtic to deepen their historic ties, it says, between Celtic and Ireland. It says, there's definitely an area we want to be in, said Brendan Rodgers. Our market to bring in Irish players is still very important for us, so we'll be hoping that we can do that in the future, said Brendan Rodgers about bringing in Irish players. We've got a couple of young players who have came through, but it's going to take a wee bit of time. We've got the boy Francis Turley, who's had some appearances in and around the first team. What's very important for Celtic is to Ireland is to keep that connection. There's a lot of young players support Premier League teams in England. Devastates me that. 100 years after what everyone went through in Ireland, and a lot of young Irish just think that England is the be-all and end-all, which is sad. It is sad, but it's a modern day, isn't it? It's a modern football, and it's modern Ireland, which is What's important is to bring Celtic to keep Irish connection with a lot of young players. There's still a huge draw to come to Celtic. Taking the team to America last year really proved that, said Rodgers. Rodgers hailed Adam Idah, who's been the subject of a lot of criticism over the course of the season, for his response. The 24-year-old has managed quite a few goals over the season. 20 goals. And you cannot complain about Adam Idah with his game time. His game time to goal ratio is as good as it was last season, and I think that I think that Adam does get quite a bit of stick, more than is maybe necessary. You're always going to need. Do you think that? I'm not going to digress, but we'll do that for later. He scored 20 goals in 22 starts. He's had 51 appearances, so he's contributed a lot for us in every competition. Settling into a club like Celtic can be huge. He's adapted really well. Brendan Rodgers believes that next season he will go on and be even stronger once he gets the pre-season. Yeah, Brendan Rodgers taking about the pre-season chat already. He wasn't here for last pre-season. He was at Norwich, and he didn't get a good pre-season at Norwich. He's a good guy. He gives his all. He'll kick on next year, I am sure, says Brendan Rodgers. We try to highlight with Adam, it's just the pressing aspect, because he can score goals, and all different types of goals. He's now playing a more pressured game that's intense, and it's something that we've been working on with Adam, is his physicality. But when he's full of confidence and running hard and working well, all these things naturally come to Adam Eder, says Brendan Rodgers. It's a good insight from Brendan Rodgers. Talking about Johnny Kenny, Brendan Rodgers says, since returning from 2 years on loan at Shamrock Rovers, having netted on his full debut in this week's 5-1 win over Aberdeen, last week's 5-1 win over Aberdeen, Rodgers will decide this summer whether to seek another loan move for Johnny Kenny or retain him with the first team, which I've said it's a big summer for Johnny Kenny, because if Celtic go out and bring in a big striker, big by I mean transfer fee, it means that Johnny Kenny will be loaned out just to get and improve him as a player. And it's done not bad so far, but when you've got the way that we don't play two strikers up front, so you only need three strikers at the club. If we played two strikers up front, you could maybe say that there's a case for keeping Johnny Kenny at the club. But I think loaning him out to either Scott Brown or Neil Lennon at Dunfermline, if Neil Lennon does stay at Dunfermline, could be fantastic for the player. I think Celtic will be very specific on where they put Johnny Kenny, because they want to make sure that it is a team that is getting first team football, and they'll also want to make sure that it's a team and a manager that can progress him as a player and make him better, and also understands that this is the pathway getting into to solidify him as a first team player. And I think that is something that obviously Brendan and everybody will be working on over the summer. Anyway, he went on to say, we'll see what pre-season brings for Johnny Kenny. We just have to assess everything and see where he's at. He's still a young player, only 21. From where he's came from, he's shown up very well. And you've got to think about it. When you're 21 and you come through the B team and you've come through the system at Celtic, you get loaned out at this age. And it goes on about Liam Scales. Rodgers praised Liam Scales for regaining his place at the start of this term, having been behind Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty for most of the season. Liam is a player that I trust. He obviously comes in and out of the team earlier on in the season, but I put him back into games where he's really important for us and he's really shown up well. I'm delighted for how consistent his form is. And you think that the way that he went away from Celtic up to Aberdeen and came back, and even though there's other players come in, Rocky, Lagerbelke, Trusty, just to name a few, Scales has still managed to push on as a player, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Brendan Rodgers then went on to says there's a matter of Scottish Cup final against Aberdeen this weekend, which could provide him with his third treble. We've put in so much work over the course of the season, so much sacrifice, but it's always been our notion to win all three. We've done two. Now we get ready to have a good week in training and focus on that game. Is it a good idea for Celtic to have a pathway for Irish players? And can you see Celtic dipping in? Well, they obviously are going to. Brendan Rodgers has said it to the Irish media that he wants, he and Celtic wants there to be a better pathway for young Irish players to come to Celtic, because they obviously see that that's the market that has been left a bit untapped by Celtic over the years, and with the fact that English football kind of snaps up a lot of the younger Irish players, knowing that they have a pathway to first team football by joining Celtic and then going back on loan to the likes of Shamrock Rovers, getting your run in a European football competition, and showing that you can do it at that level, I think it's fantastic. It is fantastic. But anyway, that's pretty much the news this morning. An ex-Celtic player looks like he's on his way to Italy. Moritz Jens, remember him? He's seemingly on his way to Italy. And I wonder if Ange Postecoglou will follow him to Italy also. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? The man that basically ended his Celtic career ends up being his manager in Italy. Could it happen? We'll have to wait and see on that one. I would just see this. Yeah, we did the Aaron Engels one at the start, didn't we? Aaron Engels has been linked to. Yeah, we've done that. Close that down. Paz, do a poll on it. Do a poll on what? Let me just jump back through the comments section. Stephen, big shout out to Stephen Johnson. I know that you're going through a lot just now, Stephen, and honestly, my heart goes out to you, mate. It really does. Chin up, fella. Let me just jump through some of these comments. Just catch up with this. Engels had a brilliant season. Kuhn probably won for the big money move in the summer. Annie's done well this season. You know how much do you think he's worth now? I would say around about 18 million. I would send Kenny to Birmingham because there's more competition down there. Would he walk straight into the first team at Birmingham though? That's the only issue. It's fine sending him down to Brendan's mate, but would he get game time? I think Celtic have to be really careful where they're sending Johnny Kenny, because there's no use sending him to a team. I mean, it was good when we sent him back to Shamrock Rovers. You knew that he was going to be in the team. If you send him down to Birmingham, what's the chances of him staying in the team on a week-to-week basis? And that's the reality of the situation. Because he is only 21-year-old, I think that there's more chance of him going to a Dunfermline, wherever Scott Brown, if Scott Brown moves this summer, go to Scott Brown's team. People that really understand Celtic and know what the pathway is all about. Kaiser says, we need a top-rate striker, Baz. Loan move for Kenny would be great. One of them would be playing European football, so Dundee United would be a great shout. I'll wait and see. We don't need another striker. We need to spend money on number 6. Do we not need another striker? See, big grab. I don't understand your thinking with that, mate. I don't understand your thinking with that, because Dyson Maida's not a striker. And if you bring Dyson Maida off the wing, we need to bring in another top quality winger. So, saying that we don't need another striker, we actually do. We haven't replaced Kyogo. Dyson's not a striker, he's a winger at Celtic. People forget that. And you could say, but he's a striker for Japan. For fuck's sake, you fucking... he's a striker for Japan. But he's not at Celtic. He's a winger. So, we either have to replace a winger and utilise Dyson predominantly as a striker, which means then we need to bring in a winger, or you use him as a winger. You can use him as both, but it devalues the squad. It does devalue the squad. Having Adam Ida going to up his game hopefully next season, and then and Johnny Kenny in the background, it's not players that have had vast experience at a European level. Like I says, Dermot Desmond has got shares with Shamrock Rovers, so why don't we use them as a feeder club? I don't think Cameron will play this weekend. Not Cameron Carter-Vickers is out. Brendan's already said that. Cameron Carter-Vickers, his season's done. His season's done. Ange had a press conference yesterday and was talking about Santos, the Brazilian club. Was he? That'd be interesting if he went to Brazil. Do a poll and return the Gigi? No, because it's not going to happen. It was a media interview. It was a Daily Record interview. A fucking online fucking interview. He's never going to come back. Never, Kaiser. I'm not doing a poll about it because he's not coming back. Brendan Rodgers will not re-sign the grumpy Greek. I'm telling you that now. It's a waste of a poll. There's not a chance he's coming back. Do you know, you can... And do you know, fuck... Bring back the good old days where it was just YouTubers that done YouTube instead of fucking journalists. Do you know, bring back the good old days when journalists were nowhere near YouTube. They were all left fucking typing away on their fucking typewriters. That's my only moan this morning. I need a Premier League team for Kenny. He'll learn nothing at Dunfermline. I don't think you could. The problem with going to a Premier League team is if he doesn't bang in goals and if he's not prolific, people will start saying he's shite and he's not Celtic standard. I think you will and you don't, but that's a good poll. Nah, no chance, Kaiser. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. We're not signing. We are not signing a 30-year-old striker. Never. Absolute. Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. Brendan Rodgers is not going to change his transfer policy to bring back the grumpy Greek. Not a fucking chance. Johnny Kenny has more potential than the grumpy Greek. I've said it. We need an established defence. An established defence. Do you think that we don't have an established defence, James? Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty, Liam Scales. We need another player that can give good backup. You only need 4 defenders. If CCV not playing on Saturday, we'll play Rocky and Scales. Trusty is pish. Baz, the only poll you need to do, where did that go? Will Brendan get a new contract? There we go, Lanky's got a good one. There's your morning polls, because you're poll mad on this channel. This is from Lanky. There we go. Will Brendan Rodgers get a new contract? Ooh, it's a nice one actually. Will he get a new contract? True Baz, Gigi was so close to the ceiling, he was burning his arse in the light bulb, but my mum likes his muscles, lol. Kaiser. Oh, Jesus. And yet he brought Jota back. Hitman Hart, what age is Jota? He's 4 years younger. Think about it. He's 4 years younger. He's only 26. You know what I mean? He's 26. You've got to look at the age of a player and what he can offer to the club. This is where Celtic fans are going crazy about bringing back players. That's a no-brainer. Brendan will be James says, do a poll, who will be at Celtic longer, Dyson or Brendan? It'll be Brendan. It will be Brendan. Guaranteed. Let me just say this. So Brendan, will Brendan get a new contract? Oh, who's the 2%? Oh, there's 2% say no. Tell us in the comments why you don't think. Here we go. Jason Lee's late to the game. Doesn't Japan team play Maeda as a striker? Yes, they do. But Celtic don't. So if you're going to use Dyson as a striker, Dyson's not going to be at Celtic next summer and next season. So let's just forget the Dyson talk. He's going to be sold this summer. Should he sign a new contract? Oh, Kevin, he's one of the knowers. GG is 30 and he's prime for a muscular striker. Celtic have never bought a 30-year-old striker ever. and they're not going to start it now. They're not going to start it now. Celtic will not change their policy to bring in a 30-year-old. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. And he'll want more money that he was on at Celtic before. He's not going to come back for the same money. And this is what's even crazier. That you think that Celtic are going to offer him more money that he was on the first time at Celtic. No, they're not. Which some of you need to engage in the grey matter that's up here. Some of you need to engage in the grey matter to actually think about why you left the club for money. It's all good, a player coming in. I mean, if you interview any player that's still playing and ask them the question, would you go back to Celtic? Every single ex-player would say yes. Because it's a time of their life when they're winning medals, they're winning trophies, and we brought in Ian Wright at 37. He was the 37 when we brought in Ian Wright. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was back in the day when we used to bring in English players the Christmas window. The last minute signing on the Christmas window, a big name for England. I'm glad we've stopped that nonsense as well, because that was just... It was getting ridiculous. Gigi's in Mexico watching Dancing Dogs. He's watching more than Dancing Dogs if he's in Mexico. He's probably doing a what was his name at Liverpool that used to snort all the cocaine. Presently, I would prefer to give Kenny a lot more game time than getting GG back. But if we could get GG back for the cheap, it would be nice. He's not going to come back, Jason. He's not going to come, but Celtic are not going to entertain it. They're not going to entertain a player that they let go to bring back for more money. And he won't come back for less money. Let's put it that way. He's not done a Kaiser, is he? I wouldn't take Kyogo or Gigi back. The two of them were sold at their prime, if you ask me. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, we're talking about the game this weekend. I think it is time to start talking about the game this weekend. It is Wednesday. There is a little matter of a European... It's bloody boiling, man. I need to get the I need to get the fan on soon. Celtic do go to Hampden this weekend and we entertain the Sheep, who have been in complete meltdown. Aberdeen are gearing up for their first... Scottish Cup final appearance since 2017. We all know what happened in 2017. Brendan Rodgers beat them then. Can we beat them again? Jimmy Thielen will be hoping that he and his Aberdeen team can go and create an upset. But the reality is that Jimmy Thielen's Aberdeen have been capitulating so much over the course of the season that they finished 5th. Yes, they went from second horse wonders, riding on the wave of the cusp of the wave, chanting Championes in October. Yes, Aberdeen fans were chanting Championes, we're going to win the league in October, and they finished 5th in the league. But they think they're going to win the Scottish Cup final, and they've sold out a massive amount of tickets. They gave every single season ticket holder 4 tickets each to bring along their gran, their uncle, their second cousin, who is their sister. But we'll make it an interesting game at Hampden this weekend. So, with the potential of Cameron Carter-Vickers not playing, and also Rio Hatate not playing, and Jota not playing, 3 very influential players for Celtic. Who will be the starting 11 for Celtic? We're not going to talk about it tonight, we'll talk about that tomorrow night, but it's going to be an interesting week, and let's just hope that everyone stays 100% fit. Now, we all know, here's a poll, let's finish that one. Let me just do this. There's a poll for you. Here's the screen. Click wrong buttons everywhere. Right, so first option is A. Second option is B. I've got to add the C, don't I? I've got to add a C option. Just oh yeah, I need to add the C. He's got to get a mention. He'll end up being on the bench. That's a cracker. Keyboards. None of you expected this one as a poll. Who should play in goals this weekend for Celtic? Kasper Schmeichel, Sinisalo, or Scott Bain? There we go. Kasper Schmeichel, I've got to say, the last game of the season, Kaiser's voted Scott Bain straight away. I've got to say, I'm going to stand out for the crowd. I think that Sinisalo will be a better goalkeeper than Kasper Schmeichel. I think his distribution of the ball is better. I think he's. I know it's Kasper's shirt, and I know that Kasper will get it because he is the number one. But when you look at his distribution during the game and the speed of getting the ball out, I think that Sinisalo is better than Schmeichel. I think that Sinisalo his distribution on throwing the ball out is quicker. His reaction time's quicker to getting the ball back into play. I think that Kasper Schmeichel's pretty old school when he slows the play down, which allows the other team to get further back up the pitch, and then it hinders Celtic because they then go to the passing at the back and trying to do the whole Brendan Rodgers play. It's where Sinisalo, he tries to get the ball out a bit faster into the gameplay and hence try and get an attack going a bit quicker. And I think that Sinisalo is going to be way better than Kasper Schmeichel. I think that he's unlucky that Kasper fucking got fit because he done nothing wrong. Sinisalo has done nothing wrong. He's a fantastic young keeper, and I think that he should feel hard done by not getting a game. Let's jump into the comments. You can't change keepers like a revolving door. Yes, you can. Scott Bain says Ian Aberdeen. He's voted for Scott Bain to give Aberdeen a chance. It's Kasper's shirt now. Scott Bain says him now. That's a cracker. Good morning to you, mate. Lanky says that he reckons the team will be Sinisalo, Alistair Johnson, Mark Mironowski, Scales, Taylor, Callum McGregor, Al Engels, Paulo Bernardo, James Forrest, Adam Eden, Dyson Maida. That's the lineup, Baz. Has it been leaked? Has it been leaked already? I think Sinisalo, I just think that looking at Kasper's movement at the weekend, he's a bit stocky, he's a bit stiff. I don't think he was 100% fit. You can understand why Brendan Rodgers brought him in for the last game of the season. Bring him in for the last game of the season so that he deserves that. Do you know, he deserves that. He's played the majority of the season. He deserves that. But on form, I'm talking about form. And a lot of you are thinking with your head. And I understand why you're thinking with your head, because it's the fucking only thing you want to think with. But think about it logically, and think about the form of the players. Kasper Schmeichel's been out fit for been out on the injury sideline for quite a few months now, and I just think that the reaction time and the speed that things happened during the game at the weekend were directly impacted due to the fitness level of Casper. I'm just putting it out there. That's all I do, is put it out there and let you comment on it. GG could play in goal. No, he couldn't. Lanky says, people need to realise you're making your Glasgow Derby debut away at Ibrox and things got tossed at you. But Sinisalo, yeah, exactly. I think that he will be, I mean, we spoke about it last night. He will be the number one goalkeeper for years to come. I think we could have a player that will be at Celtic for a long time. He doesn't seem to be the type of player that is of interest of going anywhere. He came through teams in England, and he's got a chance to stay at a top team. Now, yes, he'll probably move at some point in his career. He'll move for a big fee, and he'll move to big wages down south, being an international keeper. When he becomes the number one international keeper for Finland, he will definitely get his move. But I think that's 5 years away. I think it's at least 5 years away. Big Sin deserves his earn to play medal. Would also recognise Casper, one of the great keepers of recent times. Deserved it last year. Casper will get a medal anyway. I mean, Scott Bain will get a bloody keeper. Will get a medal because he'll be on the bench, because there'll be the two keepers on the bench, won't there? Peter King says, good morning. Sinisalo's already shown his potential. Will be a class keeper, said Richard. It's interesting to see the way that the votes are going. It's 61%. It's starting to come down a bit for Schmeichel. You've got to think about the fitness level of Schmeichel and the reaction time and how quick he gets. And that's what the goalkeeping coaches will do, and that's what Brendan will do. They'll look at the last game at home. They'll look at the game where Sinisalo was in goals and how quick they get. When it comes to Hampden, it's going to be a case of we need to get the ball out quick for the back. We will have to get the ball out quick for the back. And I think that Schmeichel slows it down myself. But anyway, what do I know? I just went to the football for all the years and just commenting about it on YouTube now. Morning guys, just back from 26-hour round trip, Aberdeen, Manchester for a Bruce Springsteen. A 26, doesn't it take 26 out, 14 hours to get to, what did you walk? You went all the way to Manchester for a Bruce Springsteen concert. Were you born in the USA? City fans were coming out at the same time. We're all singing Celtic songs. Were they? Why? Jim McClarty says, Baz Sinisalo's very confident. Yep, he is that. I love it when somebody comes into the chat, like Pubcat just comes in and says, alright, I was doing this last night. I'm glad it was just a round trip to Manchester, because some of the chat last night, Casper needs to lose a few pounds. I'm glad somebody pointed it out. Is it just me that thinks that Casper's maybe just carrying a few too heavy? I mean, he's at that age where, it starts creeping up on you. But yeah, I think he's a bit. He's not a Joe Hart, is he? He's not in the same physical league that Joe Hart was in. I mean, Joe Hart's just a monster at the gym. Casper Schmeichel, I don't think he gives a fuck about the gym, does he? Whisper it. I don't think he gives a fuck about the gym. Casper wears 2 jumpers. It's cold up here. Fuck off. He's fucking Danish, man. Jesus. It's like summer in Scotland compared to Denmark. But yeah, let's see how this poll is going. Let's see if we can get this one up to 100 votes this morning. There's been over 600 people online. There's 177 currently online, 178. 63% says Casper should play this weekend. 28% says Vil should start this weekend. I can't call him Vil. It's Sinisalo for me. And then 8% say Scott Bain. The likes of Casper, the likes of Kaiser has voted for Scott Bain. The likes of Ian Aberdeen has voted for Scott Bain also, to give them a little bit. Casper used to have their twin, but he ate him. I think he did. 6-hour drive down, went to Old Trafford, Etihad, saw the concert, drove back up, a couple of naps. There we go. That sounds like me in the rave days. Drive down to Manchester, drive down to Birmingham. Couple of naps at Gretna Green. Bet you did. Fiend. Couldn't figure out whether champions were singing champions again, ole ole. I'm just going to stop reading the comments. I was actually going to do a comment video yesterday, and I'm glad it didn't record properly because it was just a load of nonsense. Celtic players surprise fans at Children's Hospital. That must have been yesterday. Arnie Engels, Casper Schmeichel, and Callum McGregor, Dyson Maida, and James Forrest went to the Glasgow's Children's Hospital to surprise some of the young kids, the absolutely stars, such brave kids going through traumatic medical conditions. And Celtic went there, and that was good. Oh, took that down. Bloody adverts. Why have they always got to put adverts on? Come on. Fucking adverts take ages, don't they?
It was really great to see all the kids, and especially to let them see the trophy and to give them something back. It's always nice to see them, the happy faces on their face.
How did they react?
Yeah, they reacted really nice. They were all surprised that we were in there, and they I think they loved it. So it was a really nice thing to do, and a nice thing to see all the happy faces.
How rewarding is that as a footballer, knowing that you can make a difference to people's lives?
Yeah, it's always nice to see the happy faces on their face, and just to see they can give something back to them. Also, if they're not maybe in the greatest place, you still can make their day, hopefully. So it's always a nice thing to do.
I'm sure there were some Celtic fans in there. Did any of them have any words of advice for Saturday's cup final?
Yeah, of course, they wish you a lot of luck, but they were just happy to see the trophy, see their children happy, and that's the most important thing. It was all about the children today, and I hope we could have give them something back, and they were really happy.
Just on that, how much are you looking forward to the cup final on Saturday?
Yeah, I think a lot. We are now training well and then recovering, so everybody's really looking forward to the next game, and we all know that it's a big one, so everybody's focused on that, and hopefully we can win another trophy.
What would it mean to you if you are to win the treble?
Yeah, it would mean a lot to me, of course, especially my first season. Would mean a lot to me and also my family to put in the hard work that we already did the whole season. That you can finish off with the treble would be amazing.
Is that something that you targeted when you came here to try and win all 3 trophies? Was it something that was spoken about?
Yeah, 100%. You always try to win everything, and especially here in this big club, you need to win everything. So it's then nice to hopefully do it in the end of the season, and there's still one more big game to aim for. And like you said, it was a big game for me in the beginning of the season to get the 3 trophies, and hopefully we will have them in the end.
Yay!
Yeah, it was.
Arnie Engels scores again. It's been a while since Arnie Engels has scored, hasn't it? It's been a good few games. He's not managed to score from open play, but can Arnie Engels score in the final this weekend? That's an interesting one. Anyway, I'm going to finish up this poll. Who should play in goals this weekend? Casper Schmeichel's got 64%. Stanislav's got 29%, and Scott Bain has a little lowly 8%. I think Scott Bain should go to the unsafe, Dave. Don't do that. Don't even say that, because that could actually come. Nah, it won't. The Celtic team will look considerably different next season. There will be lots of moves this summer in and out. Says Stephen Cassidy. Yes, there will, Stephen. I think that I've said it for a couple of weeks now. I think that fans are underestimating what may happen this summer. The fact that Arnie Engels has been linked with a move to Italy, to think that Nico Kuhn's been linked with down to England, Rio Hatate's been linked away, Dyson Maida's been linked away. and then you take into consideration the players that want to leave Celtic that are already out on loan, the fact that we're not going to offer Jeffrey Sloop a contract, we're going to need to bring in another left back. Taylor, no chance in midfield. Taylor will not be at Celtic next season. He'll not be at Celtic next season. It's gone. It's done and dusted. He's leaving Celtic, so we need to get over that one. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this afternoon. There will be another Celtic Live later on this afternoon. It'll be around about 7:30 Celtic part time. We'll get it in half an hour before the Europa Cup final starts. Good luck to Man United. Sorry, I cannot say good luck to Tottenham. I can't. Never can. Even though it's got Ange there, I can't say good luck to Tottenham. So good luck to Man United tonight, and I shall see you back later on this afternoon. If there's any Celtic updated news that comes out, and any little rumours, any potential signings maybe. Oh, Darren D's future. There we go. We'll finish off with Darren D's future. I'll just see. Oh, it looks like Darren D has agreed a new deal to become Swansea City's assistant manager on a 3-year deal. So there we go. Looks like Darren D will leave Celtic as pathway manager, and he's going to Swansea City, a team that Brendan Rodgers knows well. And it's interesting because I know a guy who knows, I don't know if he's still the owner or was the owner of Swansea City. He stays down in Nerha. I'll just view the... So Celtic will be in need of a pathway manager. Will they replace Darren O'Dea as pathway manager? We can maybe talk about that later today. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely... Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because the stats show me that there's tens of thousands of people watch the videos and haven't subscribed to the channel. So let's get to 22,004 this weekend. Can we do it? We'll wait and see. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And I'm going to talk about the stats tonight, actually, because I was looking at the stats for where everyone watches from, and I know you like that, so I'll give you an update on where everyone watches from. Celtic fans all around the world. See you later. I'm trying to switch this off, I can't find the screen.